It hasn't been a secret that ever since the Milwaukee Bucks were eliminated in the playoffs, that people have been talking about the potential of Giannis Antetokounmpo, the two-time MVP, asking to be traded. But there hasn't been any proof until now. Shams Charania just tweeted out a story that he wrote for ESPN announcing essentially that Giannis is on the market.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Why is this happening right now? Because today, actually, I thought I was going to come down here and record a video about maybe the Raptors being able to get the #1 pick and follow in the steps of OKC with a young core with Cooper Flagg at the helm. But I'm not doing that because we're talking about Giannis. And the reason why this is coming out today is because everybody is in Chicago right now. All the NBA GMs are in Chicago. They're all there for the NBA lottery. They're going to be talking. They're going to start having some of the conversations. Just like, remember when we had the Luka trade and we heard about this coffee meetup between Rob Pelinka and Nico Harrison, and that's where things got started with the Luka trade? That's happening today. But instead of just whispers about it, Giannis is saying, let's get this done. This is not him just being, quote, open-minded. That is maybe the subtlest way he could say, I desperately want to leave.
Done.
And you can tell, if you look at the story, Shams is very clear about how there's just no options left in Milwaukee. This seems like an article that is written with the star in mind, trying to make excuses, trying to give some reasons for the fans of why your hometown star is asking out of the franchise. Because there's just no options left. They are going into the luxury tax for the 6th consecutive season. There's just no one who's going to be on the market. You got Dame injured. He might never be the same player ever again. And Giannis is looking around and he is seeing the walls closing in. And now is his chance. So he announces it today. This is basically his free agency announcement of, hey, if you want me, I'm right here and I want to go. And now it's up to Milwaukee to try to make the best deal possible. And already people have been talking about where that best deal might come from. I really like what Wendy had to say this morning.
The other thing that you need to know is if you're going to trade Giannis to a team that's going to be a super team, getting that team's draft assets is not exciting because they're not going to be very high picks for the next few years. So you're going to look at teams that have players to trade and other teams' draft assets that they can trade besides theirs. San Antonio and Houston, San Antonio and Houston, San Antonio and Houston. Pay attention there.
I actually really like those fits for Giannis, but I'm not sure that that's actually what is happening here. Because obviously you have all the GMs meeting today, so there's a lot of conversation that can happen in starts of some of these trades. But I think it's really about who gets that #1 pick. If San Antonio can get it or Houston can get it, I think they can get it done. But I think this is actually Giannis throwing a lifesaver out to the Milwaukee Bucks too, and saying whoever gets that #1 pick, they're going to have to think about this. Is the possibility of Cooper Flagg better or equal to the actual reality of Giannis Antetokounmpo? They're going to have to consider that. That's going to have to be a debate in-house of, can we trade this for Giannis? You know, a lot of people are obviously going to be mad at Giannis for putting this out there, and Milwaukee Bucks fans are going to feel betrayed. I understand that. But I think that this is actually one of the better ways that a superstar has kind of forced his way out of the organization because of the timing of it, because of what's happening today, because now he's giving his maybe possible former team an opportunity to be able to rebuild with something as insanely good as Cooper Flagg. So I think whoever wins today is going to have to consider that. You know, if you've got some of these other teams, like if the Raptors win, I don't think that they're going to be trading Cooper Flagg for Giannis Antetokounmpo. But if Houston does, if San Antonio does, heck, if the Philadelphia 76ers do, like there's going to be some people that are really going to have to consider that, because Giannis is still in his prime. He's still only 30 years old. It's kind of insane when you think about all that he's accomplished so far, the 2 MVPs, the championship, the finals MVP, and he's still only 30. There's a lot of time left on that clock to be able to win some championships. And a lot of teams are going to be talking about that today and in the coming weeks leading up to the draft and asking themselves, is Giannis worth Cooper Flag? That's going to be a conversation that's going to be had a ton. But this is super exciting that this news dropped today. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Hit the like button if you like this kind of content. Sub if you're new, and I will see you in the next one.